In 2001, you can notice that the apes themselves are looking into the camera right before the monolith comes. And they, evolves them, and then they use tools or whatever. And that's interesting because, as I showed in a video a couple years ago, this guy, Rob Ager's channel, this brilliant analysis of Kubrick films and a lot of other things, he shows how the astronaut, when he's looking into the camera, you can see in the reflection of his helmet the director and the cameraman standing there. Like you could see their foot move even in the reflection of the astronaut's helmet. And maybe back then they thought it was just dumb editing, but Kubrick is a genius. He did that intentionally. Because 2001 is all about breaking the fourth wall and evolving our consciousness and going to the next step of reality. And that's why the monolith, if you turn it sideways, looks like a widescreen blank TV. And that's why the first 3 minutes of the film are blank and just kind of weird noises for 3 minutes. And it's just nothing, and then the MGM line comes on. So yeah, there's a lot of secrets in that film. Not only Freemason stuff, but obvious cool cinema stuff. And as we showed in my other video, The Shining, there's specific props that are taken away during the same scene but a different cut. Okay? There's a table behind Jack Nicholson when his wife comes to check on him when he's writing, but in the very next cut of his dialogue, the table's gone. And what these things are, it's not editing problems, it was intentional. It's showing the different realities of Jack's personal life versus Jack's book that he's writing. So the film of The Shining is Jack writing the book, and the film slowly morphing into Jack's reality, into where everything is fake and nothing is real anymore. So like even when the black chef and the kid and the mom walk into the kitchen and then they walk out, it's a completely different room. That's not editing, it was intentional, showing that it was real when they went in, but now it's a different reality. It's Jack's fictional universe at that time now. Okay, it's really cool. And of course, so 2001 is all about that. And there's this cool video how there's like 7 diamonds always featured in these Kubrick films, which is true as well. For a couple reasons. 7's a super holy number for many reasons. So, but there's no one reason he does something. Just like all geniuses, it's the multifaceted creations that really mean something. Okay. Proof of power is excess of power. Okay, so yeah, the apes in 2001 looked into the camera intentionally. It wasn't just a bad cut and they just kept it. Kubrick doesn't do that. Okay, and let's get into something. I'm a huge fan of underground 90s rap. Some rap today, barely any. But I grew up with the Screw Tapes, so I'm very biased towards those kinds of gangster rap mixtapes in the 90s. I hate mixtaping stuff, anything past 2000. Just doesn't feel right, screwed and chopped to me always. So in that sense, I just want to say that being cool is actually the opposite of keeping it real these days. Keeping it real means you're not doing something to be cool. You already are cool and are being yourself. Being cool means going along with the program, doing what's trendy, whereas keeping it real is not doing what's trendy and doing what is in your soul. It's not about the paycheck, it's about what makes you feel good. So these rappers need to get that straight too. I think they have something real mixed up after Tupac died. They didn't know what real was because he was just the whole shebang. So whenever he did something, that means when I do it, it means the same thing. No, he did it and he deserved it. He earned those street creds. Y'all just say you're real in your first song and you've not even proved it. You don't even have a life yet. You're on Pro Tools or something. In the 1600s, they made these long, boring books, and the intros may have seemed superfluous and overkill and stuff, but they're actually intentional. Once again, they're hiding codes there. And so if you want to hide a code that's 5 sentences, you'll have to create like all long paragraphs to put the right words in between those sentences, depending upon the code or cipher, of course. So just like with Shakespeare's plays, there's one page that says Francis in King Henry IV, Part 2. It says Francis like 50 times or 30 times on the page itself. Okay, it's superfluous because there's a code. So like a lot of other things, it's long and boring, or there's weird cuts in a movie or whatever because it's code. So yeah, it's not because they're boring or dumb. It's because they're not talking to us. They're talking to their superiors. Okay, let's talk about work really quick. You know, they say don't talk about religion or sexuality at work, but the next week they're talking about Merry Christmas or Happy Pride Month. So we can talk about it when it's that month. Okay, so I can talk about sex and my sexuality during that month only, and I could talk about Christmas is pagan during that day only. Or I have to do Christmas celebrations. Like sometimes I just tell people, sorry, I don't believe in Christmas, I'm Muslim. Now I don't really say that, but I joke about it. Like if I was a Muslim, you wouldn't be saying Merry Christmas every 5 seconds and you just be like, okay, whatever. But if I say I'm Christian and I don't celebrate Christmas, then you have to get into it. And I don't have time to get in with 7 billion people. I hate starting from ground zero every time. I just want to wear a shirt like Jim Brown's, you know. Christmas is pagan. Predestination is true. God doesn't love everybody. You know, all just straight up facts. Like I'll have one fact on this side and one fact on my back. But mine will be different. Mine will be like, Yahweh is Satan. Francis Bacon is Shakespeare. The moon is hollow. The universe is electric. Stars are portals. Because like I just wear normal shirts outside. I don't have bumper stickers. I keep to myself because I don't want attention. Why should I, as a Christian, shock other Christians by saying, yeah, Christmas is pagan? And they're trying to tell me Freemasons don't know about their Bible? Like, well, how would Illuminati Satanists know anything about our Bibles? Because they're the ones who hid the codes in it and are hiding it from us now. Like my whole H.P. Blavatsky thing. Someone commented, well, why would she know? She's a Freemason, she's an Illuminati Satanist, whatever. That doesn't mean she doesn't know the secret, esoteric, occult, mystic, hidden truths. Not all of them, just definitely the ones you don't find in your Southern Baptist church. We need to open our minds. And Christians are taught to not look at anything, so you're never going to be able to know why it's wrong. And when skeptics approach you, atheist skeptics, you won't have a leg to stand on. But when atheist skeptics approach me, I could be like, well, yeah, I've read all of Nietzsche's work, so I understand where you're coming from with atheism. But Nietzsche didn't know this, that, and this, that, and that gematria, or this whatever, you know, textual criticism, Greek, Hebrew, blah, blah, blah. You need to know why you believe something instead of just believe it. Because I don't have blind faith. Pretty sure it's direct faith. Oh yeah, and also in The Shining, Danny is wearing the Apollo 11 sweater, which a lot of people think, oh, it makes Stanley Kubrick means that he faked the moon landings. That's not what it means. There's sure there's symbolism behind it being in there, but it doesn't mean that Kubrick faked the moon landings. Okay, we went there, as I said, just for different reasons. They're all for Freemason prophecy. There's another Mars Volta example of gematria that they use, I believe. They say it lacks a human corpse, and Make Amputecture, one of my favorite songs from the album Amputecture, and it's at the very end, okay? And they literally have a song called Tetragrammaton, okay? And to me, I think they are revealing that Yahweh is Satan just in their awesome cryptic symbolic lyrics, okay? But anyway, it lacks a human corpse, which is what, you know, Satan, the clown, needs a spirit to manifest through to do his evil. It lacks a human corpse equals Hebrew English gematria, okay? Like the gematria for that equals Hebrew English gematria. So it's like the code is saying to look into codes. I love it. And did y'all know Alexander Hamilton, he kept a portrait of Francis Bacon with him? Okay. I mean, Bacon is not some dude. He's like, people think he's the second coming or whatever. Like, I don't. I think he's a 100% genius, but he still had some moral issues we have to work out. So far my theory is I'm not 100% behind this, except for 2001 and Francis the Mute. But I think the other albums, the other Mars Volta albums might also synchronize, okay? I haven't posted them on the internet because I'm not as 100% on board with it. I gotta watch it again and confirm, but I think The Shining synchronizes to Amputecture, that album. And I think Eyes Wide Shut may synchronize to Nocturnicate. I still have to watch that. And I think Full Metal Jacket synchronizes to Octahedron. I think Dr. Strangelove would be Bedlam and Goliath. And lastly, A Clockwork Orange would be Delouse and the Comatorium. That's my guess right now. I'm not saying that's for sure, but it would be pretty sweet. And what's interesting in that In Full Metal Jacket, the actor who, you know, kills Gunny or whatever, he went crazy in the army in the movie, his real name is Onofre, or Vincent D'Onofrio, okay? And he plays the evil screw-up. And where is Satan going to be cast down? The San Onofre power plants in San Diego, California, as the Grox just showed us multiple hundreds of times. And also, like, judging the Bible, like, from a church, from, like, one perspective of going to church, it's like judging science from a third grader. But that's what scientists do to us. They narrow down Christians to what they can think and what they fathom and what they see on CNN or even Fox. They're dumb too. Christianity is so much deeper. Like, we're the true warriors. Okay, we are understanding the deception that's going on. Speaking of New World Order, I just watched that movie Conspiracy Theory again after like 20 years as Mel Gibson and Julia Roberts. The first scene, I mean, he's a cab driver talking about how George Bush was a 33-degree Mason and in Skull and Bones, and he talks about the New World Order. It's in the first 5 minutes of the movie, so I was like, yes, I love this movie. And it talks about MK Ultra. That's what the whole movie's about, mind control. And if you want to get into Derren Brown, like, he literally shows how hypnosis is real and has an entire episode dedicated to programming someone with their consent to fake assassinate Stephen Fry, the famous actor, who was also in on it. They did a whole fake thing, but the guy himself, he went through it. They showed him a symbol that activated his hypnotic state, pulls out a gun and shoots Stephen Fry, a fake gun, fake shot or whatever. And he has no recollection of it, dude, so of course it's real. He did it on a TV show, so government has obviously been doing it years and years before. Okay, here's one thing. Y'all want to know the difference between freedom of speech and freedom of religion? My religion says you can go to hell after you die. But my religion doesn't say that I have to kill you because you're not my religion, like some religions do. So in a sense, we don't have true freedom of religion. If there's religions like, you know, Dave Koresh, you know, there's like, at what point is a religion a cult? At what point is a religion something that makes people do bad things? Okay, and you wonder why ISIS exists. Well, certain verses of the Quran, not all verses, some are peaceful or whatever, but certain verses literally tell believers to go kill that person because they're not a believer. And you wonder why ISIS misinterprets it. Are they misinterpreting it? If that's what Allah says through Muhammad? Okay, so Christianity says, turn the other cheek if someone does violence towards you. But all our Christians today are Second Amendment gun-toting, stand your ground people. I am too, because I don't want to die a violent death. And I especially don't want to watch innocent people die. Okay, that's the thing with me. I don't want to see someone else get harmed, like my cat or my family or whoever. I want to protect them more than me sometimes. Okay, so with freedom of speech, we can believe anything we want and say anything we want. But freedom of religion, if your religion says go kill people who aren't your religion, how is that not going to bump into, you know, thou shalt not murder, or you can't kill people? Okay?